Hello, and welcome to the tarot reading for the new moon in Capricorn. The new moon in Capricorn is occurring on December 30th, 2024 at 2:26 p.m. So we spoke a little bit about how Capricorn rules bones and structure and things that are built to last. If you haven't checked out the video that I posted about the new moon in Capricorn ritual, I suggest that you watch it. If you are watching this and are worried that it's too late to do the ritual, it's not. You can definitely still do it in the days after the new moon. In fact, the about 36 hours after the new moon is exact is the most powerful time to manifest. So if you are feeling a bit behind, don't, because Capricorn is all about long-term planning and not worrying too much about what you need to do right here, right now. So the three cards that I pulled for this new moon are the Lovers reversed, Eight of Swords, and Two of Swords reversed. When we're talking about the Lovers reversed, we're talking about a need for self-respect. It's you're a little bit out of whack. So what you want to focus on for this new moon in Capricorn is where you have allowed yourself to not be respected. Another theme that comes up a lot with Capricorn, because it's ruled by the devil in tarot, is self-sabotaging behavior, self-criticism. It's kind of devil on your shoulder energy. So when we're talking about the Lovers reversed, we're talking about just not really being in circles or community, because the Lovers is ruled by Gemini, which is a Mercury card, which is third house, which is siblings and communication and travel. So when we're talking about the Lovers reversed, we're saying maybe you're not feeling like you have structure. Maybe you're unemployed and don't have a daily routine. Maybe you've just had a hard time since COVID getting back into a health routine. But the Lovers reversed is just affirming that this is where you're starting and it's where you need to focus. Gemini, because it rules communication, could be that you're feeling a little bit stop and start with somebody that you've been trying to communicate with. This is also a card that comes up when you may be falling out of favor in your relationship, or when somebody is falling out of favor with you. A lot of you, as we end the year, may be looking into a fresh start, and so that may involve you walking away from a relationship. But this is likely one that you've thought about leaving for quite a while, and you know that ultimately it's for your long-term success, which is what we're focused on with this new moon in Capricorn. Okay, so then we have the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords is a very, very tough love card, which really, really tracks for Capricorn. If you have any Capricorns in your life, you know that they are very frank. Blunt might be a better word. They are extremely laser focused. So if you or anyone is standing in the way of them and a goal, you will be ignored until they have the time to focus on you again. And it's not really something personal to Capricorn placements. It's more like, this is going to be for the good of all of us. Capricorn energy is very father energy because it's ruled by Saturn. So, you know, something I can relate to at least, and probably a lot of people from Southeast Asian cultures can relate to, and I'm sure others, is that it's, why do I need to say I love you? Doesn't what I do show you I love you? It's very father or parent saying, don't you have a roof over your head? Are you starving? It's that. It's like, it's the very rigid side of love, which is still a very enduring love, but it is not necessarily soft around the edges. Eight always represents something that is infinitely happening. Eight of Swords comes up when we are playing the victim a little bit, and the new moon in Capricorn doesn't really tolerate that. You're being asked to work with spaces in your life where you might be playing the victim, where you're not really being very for real about what you need to do to accomplish the thing that you want. This is, Eight of Swords is like, I can't believe I haven't met the love of my life. I haven't been out of the house in 2 weeks. Can't believe I still can't run a 5K. Also, haven't taken the time to go to the gym once or to run around the block even. It's that kind of energy that you're being asked to counter when Eight of Swords comes up. So if you look at the Eight of Swords, you'll notice that this person is bound, but if they would just be a little bit more flexible and move a little, they would realize that they're not very tightly bound at all, and they could really easily just walk away from the situation. I think we're seeing a lot because Capricorn rules our structures, and because of this poll specifically, I think this is probably about us collectively watching a lot of victim mentality play out, and by people that are like the richest men in the world having these little like pissing contests on social media platforms. And Eight of Swords is just encouraging you to not fall into the same patterns. Instead of commiserating, rise above it. Focus on micro doses throughout the day of being for real with yourself and resetting. The thing that really sticks out to me about Eight of Swords with the new moon in Capricorn is that you have to be willing to do the hard work. You have to do the routine. You can't just come up with the routine and then not execute. And with the Lovers reversed and Eight of Swords, this is, why you're out of alignment. Again, this could be something that you've needed to walk away from for a long time. This could be something that you've needed to explore for a long time or get serious about for a long time. And you've put it off for long enough that now you're feeling it. And so these two cards together, the Lovers reversed and Eight of Swords, are saying, enough is enough. You need to get real about what you need to do. Something that just came to me also is Capricorn. We just exited Pluto in Capricorn, right? Capricorn is a very boomer energy, and what we're dealing with right now is all these boomers losing it over the most trivial things when there are so many like real things that need to be addressed. And we've now moved into Pluto in Aquarius, which we're in for the next 18 years and will be the bulk of the transformation that we see in our lifetime, and it will be really rapid. But I was just thinking about how this energy that I'm getting from the Lovers reversed and Eight of Swords is very like, well, maybe if you didn't buy avocado toast every day, you could afford to buy a home. And not taking responsibility, the boomers not taking responsibility for the situation that they put us in with the housing market, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's a different video. A lot of our generation, millennials, and I think Gen Z also, we've really been painted into a corner where between a rock and a hard place, a lot of us, which leads us to this last card of the poll, which is Two of Swords reversed. And the Two of Swords reversed is an impasse. That's what we're experiencing now, at least if you're in the States. Actually, all over the world, there are very many literal impasses that are breaking structures down, challenging governments, and also it's making every day somewhat of a hard choice for many of us, because I think the choice to try and pursue your own life or to even think of long-term goals, it feels a little grotesque in the foreground of ongoing catastrophes around the world. I think this spread is saying we know that this is a hard choice to make. We know it's hard to think about your future when the future is so uncertain. And when we think about things like the climate change clock at 6 years, it's a very Capricorn state of mind to think logically about where the world is going. And for the goal aspect of this, that's helpful. Like for the ritual that I shared in the other video, that's a helpful belief. Okay, not let's be negative about it, but let's be for real about what we need to do to put in place. But for new moon energy and with this spread, we're trying to figure out how to work with that so that we can create a foundation, Capricorn, of peace, almost of detachment. Because in order to really accomplish things, you have to be slightly detached from it, right? Which is not to say your emotions can't be in it or your heart can't be in it. It's just to say that you have to be able to see things for what they are. And you have to constantly reset and remember, like, oh, I mean, it can go as far as life is an illusion. We're just floating on a rock. Aliens are real. There are drones, just bevies of drones above all of us, and nobody knows what's happening or what it is. And I would like to drive an electric Range Rover in the year 2026. All of those things can be true at once. And this Two of Swords reversed is you need to be able to utilize what is happening around you in order to move ahead. All of these cards are air. So this is all very mental. We're talking about reciprocity with 2 is a very relationship oriented number. The Lovers is also a 2, a relationship number. This is like about you needing to step your mental game up, your manifesting game up a little bit more in order to work with the universe a little bit more. A lot of times I find myself thinking, but how could the world be a reflection of the inside of me? Can the inside of me be this vile? Can it be this violent and this terrible? And it's not really that, but it is that the collective consciousness has approached that level, right? Which in a Capricorn mentality is actually useful because it allows us to, these structures got built, now we'll allow it to burn down and we have to rebuild. And we have to rebuild with more sustainable materials and maybe with a better plan and keeping in mind totally different things that weren't factors when this structure was first built, right? And with Pluto moving into Aquarius, it's saying you're different. You're about to be built different. Like you're taking down your Pluto and Capricorn structure and concurrently planting seeds for this new moon in Capricorn, because you're thinking about what you've learned since 2008 and now what of that you have extracted and can plant in the ground for this new very long period of time. That's 18 years. For the next 6 months for this new moon in Capricorn and with this spread, I think this is saying generally the Lovers reversed. You need to get back to respecting yourself. You're out of alignment. 8 of Swords. You're not as bound as you think you are. This is something I was talking about actually the other night with a group of my friends. They were talking about school shootings and Gaza and just everything that each person was concerned about. And each person seemed to have a totally different, one person was talking about health insurance. One person was talking about maternity leave. Every single one of us had a different thing that we were really passionate about and concerned about. And I am a Capricorn moon in Vedic astrology and an Aquarius moon in Western. So either way, I'm very frank and I'm very social justice minded. But I was saying, I had no idea that this many people were concerned about this many different things. You need to take it to your reps. You need to go to these structures and talk to them, and you need to use your voice. And this spread is like, you're all jumbled up. You don't really know where you're going next, and you might not really be able to form a plan. But right now you just need to create a little bit more structure by way of peace internally. And that's what's going to allow these thoughts to kind of settle, and then for yourself to have a plan. Because what we really want for the new moon in Capricorn is to have something that's very, very structured and sustainable. So think about where you find yourself having the hardest time. And if you do the ritual, you will be left at the end of it with one specific goal to focus on for the next 6 months. And now I think this spread is saying you can think about how you can contribute to the rebuilding of all of the structures around us. So I think this spread is generally just saying things are a little out of whack right now. You might be having a hard time communicating or communicating to yourself what it is that you need to do. But if you find that you can focus in on one goal, and if you do the ritual that I talk about in the other video, you will have whittled your goals down to one, and you can figure out how to communicate with yourself about getting that goal accomplished. You can figure out who you need to communicate with about getting that goal across the finish line. So I think in general, for this new moon, what we're dealing with is a lot of self-doubt, moving out of the way of our own self-doubt, our own self-criticism, implementing structure, and implementing joyful structure. Make a routine of doing things every day that you really love. All these cards are such jumbled thoughts cards, and the structure that you need might just be 15 minutes of stream of consciousness writing in the morning to just get all your really negative thoughts. Like sometimes when I stream of consciousness write, when I'm in the habit of doing it, which is not right now, sometimes I cannot believe the horrifying things that I've written about myself on the page. And I'm like, I just can't believe all of that's just sitting in my body. You know, it's weird. That's the tarot spread for the new moon in Capricorn. Basically, we need to get all of our thoughts out onto something, trim them down, and then create a plan around that trimmed down thing. So thank you so much for being here. I hope this resonated with you. As always, if you need extra guidance, my readings are open. You can book through the link in my Instagram, or you can email me directly. I know that things are really chaotic right now and that things are a little bit scary, but just try to cultivate inner peace as much as you can. Reset yourself as many times throughout the day as you can. And above all, let's just do our best. Bye.